Hello, welcome to today's live. So, before we get started with the actual topic at hand, I wanted to probe and see if there's any interest in learning more about the emotional root cause of illness and how metaphysics ties into this, and this would also include nervous system dysregulation and what we can do to resolve those things. I'm thinking about doing a workshop for it. I absolutely love doing workshops. I just really don't like doing them when I don't have an audience or nobody attends. It's like I put in a lot of effort and nobody sees it. So I like to make content and useful resources and information that's actually helpful, you know? So if this isn't something people are interested in, then I won't make it. If you are interested, leave me a little... Let me just make sure I don't get run over. Leave me a little comment below. Leave me a little... leave one of those mind-blown emojis, because this emotional root cause and metaphysics stuff is really mind-blowing. Leave me one of those if you're interested. If I get a bit of interest, I'll do it. I really, like I said, I really like doing them. I just don't like doing them if nobody's interested in it. So, topic for today, and I'm doing this. So again, I always structure my lives around my own personal life. So I've been burning the candle at both ends. I have been absolutely like wearing my body out, like almost like I'm trying to destroy it in a way. So like, first of all, I'm in a cast still, so I'm doing everything with one hand, so that, you can imagine, that just adds a whole level of difficulty and complexity on top of everything. I'm working like an absolute dog. Kerry's interested in the thing. Awesome, Kerry, would love to have you in that. That would be, I think you'd really appreciate that, the content in there. I've been working like absolutely crazy. I really feel motivated to. It feels in alignment. I feel like I'm enjoying it, but it's exhausting me. I've been going out. I've been prioritizing friendship. I've made a new friend yesterday, and I met up with my VA and her partner, which was really, really cool experience. They're from Lisbon. They came up to Porto, so we got to spend some time together, meet them in person. Really, really amazing, really nice. Friendship is so cool. Friendship's something I've really missed quite a lot. I think that many of you watching that have struggled with chronic illness can understand it can be quite lonely and quite isolating. So being able to bring my social circle from like myself and my partner to a total of 5 people, it's like, wow, that's like more than double. That's pretty cool. It's really nice. I don't even know if you can count yourself in your own social circle. I suppose you can, because you do have a relationship with yourself. So yeah, that was really nice. But I'm feeling depleted. I'm feeling exhausted. I'm absolutely knackering myself. I did 20,000 steps yesterday. I didn't eat enough yesterday as well, which is a big thing that we're going to talk about. I've been pushing myself on work. Joanna's poorly as well at the minute. She went to the hospital yesterday with some kind of breathing difficulties. She's okay. It was just she was having a hard time sleeping. She was constantly waking up in her sleep, so that, you can imagine, not getting enough sleep. Again, we're going to talk about that today because we were talking about burnout. Not getting enough sleep was really bothering her, so she had to go to the hospital and get some care. So now she's resting. But you can imagine all of her workload is now on my shoulders with all of this extra workload that I'm doing, and friends and work, and it's really exhausting. So what am I doing? What steps am I taking to prevent myself from burning out? So first of all, I'm eating enough. So as I said, I didn't yesterday, but I became very acutely aware of that. And it's very interesting the way that I did this. So there was a pattern from one of my caregivers that I really disliked. So they would not prioritise their own needs all day, not eat enough food, and then it would be really late and they would have cereal. And I noticed myself do that yesterday, and I've done a lot of integration with disgust recently, and I was really disgusted at that behaviour. I was like, it's so disgusting that you're not taking care of yourself. So this is this is emotional root cause, right? This is integration of emotions. So knowing that this emotion served me in a way because it made me disgusted with my own behaviour of how poorly I'm taking care of myself, allowed me to realise, like, oh, I'm not taking care of myself, I need to. So I prioritised. I made sure I had good food today. I actually had Marmite for the first time in like 10 years, which was absolutely a wonderful experience. That really uplifted me. It was really nice. I had some toast with literally like 40 grams of butter. It was like oozing all over it. So it's like, make sure you eat enough. Your body is is really good at adapting. It can basically adapt to any situation, but it needs the resources to get it through that. So it needs micronutrients, but it also needs macronutrients. So if you're pushing yourself, if you're like me, so first of all, I'm healing something. I'm injured. I'm recovering. I consider myself high performance. 20,000 steps in a day. That's not average. That's quite high. And I'm also thinking a lot. You can imagine my job takes a lot of brain power. Doing this right now, even though I'm just going for a very gentle walk, I am burning through calories like you wouldn't even believe. The amount of mental power that this takes to be able to maintain a conversation with all the stimulus and people looking at me and processing my emotions of like they're looking at me and they think I'm weird. It's like there's so much happening at the same time and it's taking so many resources. So I'm burning calories at a ridiculous rate right now, and I would say that if my current rate of calorie expenditure means I probably need to be eating like at least between 3,000 and 4,000 calories a day just to stay level, you know, not to gain weight, just to stay at my optimal performance, which is considerably higher than most people would tell you. So that 2,500 calories a day is for somebody that's kind of got an office job, sitting around, maybe 2,000, 3,000 steps in a day, not really being very active. It's like if you're engaged in your brain, if you're a creative, if you're doing a lot of creative work, if you're in sales, if you're in marketing, if you're in design, if you're putting yourself in difficult social situations, being on a live, if you're an actor, if you're having to put on a facade in some way or perform in some way, you are burning through calories at an extremely high rate. So you need to make sure you're providing your body with the things that it needs. And it's not just calories, it's the micronutrients too. You're going to be burning through molecules through your immune system. If you're out and you're in social environments, you've got so much immune stimulation. You need to make sure you're providing your body with everything it needs. If you're exposed to chemicals, because say you're around people, say you do cleaning as a job, something like that, this is all depleting stuff. Not only is it very taxing physically, but you're depleting your body of nutrients. You need to make sure you're replenishing these things. So your body is designed to work really hard. Think about how we've survived over the millennia that we've existed. The body is really good at adapting, and it can get through just about anything. You can imagine climbing mountains, shivering in the dark all the way through the night. It's like your body can survive, but it needs to have the resources to get it through those situations. So if you are like me, you're pushing yourself for high performance, you're pushing yourself for extreme feats of athleticism or strength or endurance, or you're pushing yourself cognitively in your job or whatever it is, if you're pushing yourself hard, if you're healing acutely or chronically, you need to have the nutrients that you need to do that. So you need to be eating in an excess. That's the first thing you can do to prevent yourself from burning out. The second thing is going to be about rest and sleep. And I'm also going to include quiet time for self-reflection. So this is what I'm going to do now. I realised I'm really quite exhausted. I haven't had a lot of time to just sit down and process what's happening around me. So I'm going on a walk now. So fitting this in, trying to be very strategic and organised. So I'm fitting some work in on the way, because obviously this is my job. So this is nice to be able to get some kind of relaxing walk while I'm still working. But I'm going to go and lay on the beach for a bit. So I'm going to replenish my stores of vitamin D. I'm going to be getting some free antioxidants from laying on the earth, getting those negative ions coming in. I've got this nice fresh air, so I'm getting all of this, it's just lovely environment. The sun, it's uplifting, it's replenishing me in so many ways. And for me, the place that I find I recharge the most is the beach. So I'm using this as an example because in my case, this is what really helps me. For you, it might be walking through a forest. It might be sitting down and reading a book with a cup of tea. Like, I don't know, whatever it is that works for you. Figure out what it is that replenishes you, and make sure you prioritise it in your day, in your schedule, in your life. So I realised I haven't been doing this enough, so I'm prioritising it today. And even though my day is quite chaotic, I'm like, no, I can fit it in. It's important, it's a priority of mine, and I'll make it happen. So finally, these are the things that replenish your battery. The final thing you can do, so these are the things that are going to make it so that you have lots of energy to burn. The only other thing you can really do is make it so you're burning less energy. And if you like to live life in the fast lane like me, that's not really where you want to go. But if you're in a place with chronic illness, or you're unable to increase the amount you're eating, or I mean, everyone kind of has the ability to rest more, but maybe you're working 2 jobs or something, I don't know. You can try to reduce your stress load. That's your only other option. You can increase your available resources, or you can decrease the amount of resources that your body needs to go through. The thing is, we're here to be alive. If your life is just spent indoors, not doing the things that you love to do, that's quite depleting in itself. Living a life that you don't enjoy, that's one of the hardest, most depressing things that you can experience. So I would focus less on reserving your energy. Just make sure that you're spending it in the way that's meaningful to you. So if you're working a job that you absolutely hate, and you go there and it makes you just want to kill yourself, you're probably not in the right job. So you need to figure out why you're in there and what you can do to change your environment so that you can be in a different job. Like right now I'm working, but I'm depleting myself in some ways because it's taxing, I'm using a lot of brain power, but I actually love what I do. So it's very different from me going to a job that I absolutely hate. Like, I love talking about this, I'm talking from my heart. Like, if I don't have this in my life, I feel depleted. Like, this brings me energy in some way. So make sure that you're doing like what you're here to do. You have a reason to be on Earth. And I don't want to make it like you need to be making so much money, you need to be doing this, and there's a very toxic culture around productivity. What I mean is, you're here to experience your authentic self-expression. And if you're not expressing yourself authentically, your life doesn't feel meaningful, it doesn't feel good, it's not recharging, it's depleting. So if you can move into a place where you're experiencing your life and you're experiencing authentic self-expression, it's replenishing. You enjoy everything, you enjoy every second of every day. Like, even though right now I'm like hammering it, I'm going so hard, I'm pushing myself to a new limit I didn't even know I had. And I'm aware, because I'm aware that you can burn out doing this, and that's why I'm making sure that I take steps to make sure that I don't burn out. But this is why I'm here. Like, this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to make these lives. I'm here to produce this content. I'm here to like do my coaching calls, and like I've got a lot of stress around moving at the minute, and I've got appointments set, and I'm learning how to travel a lot more by myself on the metro instead of going in the car with Joanna. And it's like, this is fun for me. It's scary and it's depleting because it's new and it requires a lot of thinking and it's things outside of my comfort zone. But it's why I'm here. That's what I'm here to do. This is where I am supposed to expand into. So it's so fulfilling on an even deeper level. So make sure that the things that you're doing in your life, even if they are depleting you, they're the things that you're here to do. Don't be working a job that you absolutely hate. And I understand sometimes you have to pay the bills, but it's like, do you have an exit plan? Because if you're in a job that you hate and you have no exit plan, you're going to stay there for the rest of your life, and your life's going to be shit. So figure out where it is in your life that you're unhappy, and figure out what it would look like if you were happy. And then you've got somewhere to aim for, and go for that. So that's everything for me today. I'm at the beach now, so I'm going to take some time for me. Hope you have a lovely day. Again, if you're interested in learning more about emotional root cause and understanding the principles of metaphysics, so to give you a brief description, metaphysics are like, so if you can get this one idea right, every symptom you have in your body expresses for a very specific reason. It's not random. So some people are like, oh, I have fungal issues, I get them in my toes, sometimes I get them in my groin, sometimes I get them in my mouth, sometimes I get like an itchy scalp. It's like, there is no coincidence as to where your symptoms are expressing. There's a metaphor, a metaphorical reason. And if we can interpret that and understand that, we can see what's happening and look at the underlying emotional root cause, so we can actually resolve these issues for good. So the problem isn't like the food sensitivity. The food is bringing about a healing reaction to an emotional root cause that demonstrates through the physical symptoms wherever it expresses them. There's a very specific reason. So if I could just tell you now that your symptoms aren't random, there's a very, very specific reason. There's no coincidence. There's a very specific reason, and that reason is metaphysical. And if we can understand that, we can figure out the emotional root cause. That gives you a good idea of what metaphysics is. So if you're interested in learning more about emotional root cause and metaphysics, and you'd like to attend a workshop on that, leave me a mind blown emoji as a little comment. I already got yours, Kerry, so I'll make sure I send you a message. And that's everything from me. I'm going to go get some vitamin D, enjoy the sea and the sun, and have a lovely day. Ciao.